Reported in May 2025, a luxury penthouse in Harajuku, Tokyo was traded at 9.5 billion Japanese yen, which is 65 million US dollars. That's well over 50 million yen per square meter, an astronomical figure given how much the properties have been trading in Japan for the past 3 decades. But this isn't an isolated case. Not only condos, property prices across in general have surged to historical highs. From central Tokyo to regional ski resort, prices are climbing fast, and so is speculation. This isn't normal growth. The question everyone is asking is Japan in a property bubble? Hello, I'm Toyo Tanuma. I'm the founder of Open Room Inc., which is a Tokyo-based real estate startup that helps foreign buyers to purchase properties in Japan and to manage properties on their behalf. I have well over 10 years of experience in real estate finance and investment banking, and another 10 years in advanced technologies, things like AI and software building as a tech startup founder. If you need my assistance, please contact my team. You can find everything you need to know in the description of this video. So what drives a property bubble? 3 things: market liquidity, interest rates, and supply-demand dynamics. Let's look at them one by one. First of all, market liquidity. In 2013, the BOJ, Bank of Japan, launched one of the most aggressive QE programs in the world. The monetary base exploded from just under 100 trillion yen to 600 trillion yen. So basically, the cheap money flooded the system. The QE program, which stands for quantitative easing, is a type of unconventional monetary policy used by central banks to stimulate the economy when interest rates are already near zero and traditional monetary tools no longer work effectively. It's basically to pump the money into the financial system by printing more. This chart shows the BOJ's monetary base from 2005 to early 2025, reflecting how much liquidity the central bank is injecting to the financial system through banknotes in circulation and reserves held by commercial banks at the BOJ. As you can see, from the year 2013, the liquidity kept climbing up and bumping up even higher during the COVID and staying high to this day. This big pool of money available in the market is the first reason of Japan's current property bubble. Next, low interest rate. Japan's interest rate has stayed down at near zero for a very long period of time, and in 2016 it went down even below. This chart shows the federal interest rates of the 3 key world economies from 2014 and on. As you can see, despite the rates being pushed back higher in the US and EU, post-COVID, Japan has stayed low. This makes borrowing virtually free, allowing real estate investors to take advantage of cheap debt to buy properties that offer attractive yield. Lastly, demand and supply. Due to the massive lending and low cost of capital, urban demand soared, especially in Tokyo, while new housing supply couldn't keep up due to the labor shortages and construction cost increase. The result? Prices have skyrocketed, not because of strong fundamentals, but because of the government's intentional financial scheme to drive up the property prices. But wait, didn't Japan already have a property bubble in the 80s and early 2000s? Yes, but this one is different. So the previous bubbles were mainly fueled by speculative land lending, whereas this time it's driven by central bank liquidity. And also, previous ones focused on land banking and corporate debt, whereas this time it's focused on high-spec residential condos and yield investing. And banks were reckless and unregulated, especially in the 1980s and 90s, but banks were more cautious but now flush with reserves. This time the fuel is slower, but it's much deeper. It's not just speculation, you may even call it a monetary system distortion. So the big question is, when does it end? Let's look at the 3 signs of a bursting bubble. The first sign is rising interest rates. The BOJ is finally exiting a decade-long easing, rates are rising, and so is the cost of borrowing. That directly equals buying power. BOJ currently maintains its key short-term interest rate target at around 0.5%, which has been held steady from January 2025, and the next monetary policy meeting is scheduled at the end of July, so that's something you want to closely keep an eye on. The second sign is slowing bank lending. Lending by Japan's mega banks surged after COVID. But if rates rise and risk appetite drops, lending could reverse, possibly fast. This chart shows Japan's top 3 mega banks' total lending volume for the real estate sector. As you can see, the volume has been sharply rising from 2017 to now, with SMBC being the most aggressive lender. What's interesting is that there is a time lag between the government policy and actual lending. Although the BOJ's effort to flood the system with money started back in 2013, it is actually quite recent that the money really started to pour into the market. So the question you want to ask is, what will happen if the system is reversed? The final sign is price disconnect from income and rent. Real estate prices are climbing far faster than income and rents, which are basically market fundamentals. When the gap widens too much, something has to give. I will try to cover this topic in depth in my future video. So because of these reasons, when buyers can't afford homes and investors can't justify yields, the market freezes, and that's when bubbles pop. So to sum up, this bubble wasn't caused by irrational speculation alone. It was rather engineered by design through years of loose monetary policy and ultra cheap credit. But now the tide is about to turn, the BOJ is stepping back, interest rates are rising, and the financial conditions that inflated this market are slowly deflating. Japan's real estate may not crash overnight, but the risk is highly visible and measurable. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching our video. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comment and your feedback on Japan's property bubble. Also, if you're seeking help to look for properties in Japan, I know a great tool that can help you. It's called OpenRoom, a property search engine that is designed to make property search easier for foreigners. What's unique about OpenRoom is that its listings are sourced directly from our unique network with thousands of real estate agents across Japan, and there are properties that are not otherwise listed in public. The website is also fully English friendly with a simple, clean design tailored to non-Japanese speakers. You can access it at en.openrm.jp. That's en.openrm.jp. Otherwise, I look forward to serving you, and I will see you in my next video. Sayonara.